What if I told you that every single day, whether you realize it or not, you're being manipulated, not just by others, but also by the very situations you find yourself in and even by your own emotions? Manipulation is like a silent predator that sneaks into our lives, subtly altering our thoughts, feelings, and actions without us even noticing. It can come in many forms. Whether it's a persuasive coworker pressuring you into taking on their responsibilities, a friend who uses guilt to get what they want, or even society's unrealistic expectations that push us to conform to a mold we don't truly fit. The danger is that if we don't develop the awareness to recognize manipulation and the skills to counter it, we risk losing control over our most important asset, our own decisions. We might find ourselves living on autopilot, allowing external pressures to shape our lives and emotions. This can lead to anxiety, stress, and ultimately a life that feels out of our control. But there's hope. The ancient Stoics, masters of emotional resilience and inner peace, left us timeless wisdom to help us break free from these invisible chains. With their guidance, we can reclaim control of our minds, recognize when we're being manipulated, and choose to live life on our own terms. Why Stoicism matters. The Stoics believe that our minds are the only true domain over which we have absolute control. Everything else in life, external events, other people's actions, or circumstances, are beyond our direct influence. Epictetus, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, captured this truth when he said, "Who is your master? He who has control over what you desire or dislike." This powerful statement reveals that the key to living a peaceful, fulfilled life is understanding what truly belongs to us: our thoughts, judgments, and reactions. When someone attempts to manipulate us, they seek to control our emotions, desires, or judgments, things we may not even realize we are surrendering. By manipulating our emotional responses or exploiting our desires, they effectively take control of our minds. However, the Stoic solution to this is simple yet profound. Reclaim the power over your own mind. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts and reactions, you take back that control and break free from the influence of manipulators. The Stoic path isn't about fighting external forces, but about cultivating an unshakable inner strength that cannot be easily swayed by others' tactics. By mastering your emotions and judgments, you can rise above manipulation and remain steadfast in your own truth. Real-life example: identifying manipulation. Imagine a situation where a colleague repeatedly pressures you into taking on extra tasks by playing on your sense of responsibility. They might say, "You're so much better at this than me. I'd hate to see the project fail because I couldn't handle it." At first, you might feel flattered by the compliment and the trust they place in you. And because you don't want the project to fail, you agree. However, as time goes on, you begin to feel a growing sense of resentment. The guilt begins to weigh on you, as you realize that you're doing extra work not because you genuinely want to help, but because you've been manipulated into it. This is a classic example of emotional manipulation, using subtle pressure to influence your decision-making. The manipulator plays on your desire to be seen as competent and helpful, preying on your natural empathy and desire to avoid conflict. They have skillfully turned your good intentions into an obligation, and in doing so, have shifted control of your time and energy without you even realizing it. In Stoic terms, this is a perfect example of how external events or people can try to take control of your mind by tapping into emotions that are outside of your control, like guilt or pride. The Stoic response is to recognize these emotional triggers, detach from them, and make choices based on reason rather than being driven by external manipulation. Now, how can Stoicism help? Step 1. Pause and analyze the situation. Marcus Aurelius' timeless advice: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Serves as a cornerstone for overcoming manipulation. This quote underscores the importance of focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, judgments, and reactions, while letting go of what lies beyond your influence. When confronted with manipulation, the first and most crucial step is to pause and reflect. Often, manipulation works because it preys on unexamined emotions like guilt, fear, or a desire for approval. By taking a moment to analyze the situation, you can separate your immediate emotional response from the reality of the interaction. Ask yourself, why do I feel pressured? Is this person genuinely concerned for my well-being, or are they exploiting my feelings to serve their agenda? Rational reflection allows you to uncover hidden motives and identify emotional triggers. Instead of reacting impulsively, this deliberate pause empowers you to respond with clarity and self-control, effectively breaking the cycle of manipulation. This reflective process is vital because manipulation thrives on your lack of awareness. When someone uses flattery, guilt, or fear to steer your decisions, their success depends on you being caught off guard, on your emotions overruling your reason. By consciously pausing to question your feelings and the motives of others, you disrupt this dynamic. For example, if a colleague tries to guilt-trip you into taking on extra work with statements like, "I'd hate to see this fail because I'm not as skilled as you," stopping to reflect helps you see through the emotional ploy. Instead of reacting out of guilt or pride, you regain control by assessing the facts. Are they genuinely incapable, or are they offloading their responsibilities onto you? This step not only exposes the manipulation, but also builds your confidence in handling similar situations in the future. Reflection gives you a moment of power to choose your response based on reason, not emotion. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, strength comes from mastering your own mind. This strength is the foundation for creating boundaries, asserting yourself, and maintaining inner peace even in the face of manipulation. Step 2. Control your emotional response. Manipulation relies heavily on emotional reactions to achieve its goals. When someone manipulates you, they aim to trigger feelings like anger, guilt, or fear. Knowing these emotions can cloud your judgment and make you more likely to act impulsively. This is why the Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The Stoics understood that while you cannot control the actions of others, you always retain the power to govern your response. When you feel those intense emotions bubbling up, whether it's the sting of someone's cutting words, the pressure of guilt, or the fear of disappointing others, pause for a moment. Take deep, steady breaths to calm your nervous system and shift your focus away from your immediate emotional state. Ground yourself in logic by asking critical questions. Is this person trying to influence me for their benefit? What would a rational response look like in this situation? By anchoring yourself in reason rather than emotion, you can regain clarity and composure. Instead of reacting with anger or immediately giving in to pressure, respond with calmness and precision. For example, if someone tries to guilt you into a decision, you might say, "I understand your concerns, but I need to think this through before making a commitment." This response demonstrates emotional detachment and self-assurance, effectively neutralizing the manipulative tactic. Over time, consistently practicing this approach not only shields you from manipulation, but also cultivates a sense of inner peace and resilience, empowering you to navigate interactions with confidence and integrity. Step 3. Set boundaries firmly but respectfully. Once you've identified manipulation, the next crucial step is setting clear and firm boundaries. Manipulators often thrive on the ambiguity of your limits, pushing until they meet resistance. By articulating your boundaries assertively, you regain control of the situation. For instance, if a manipulative colleague repeatedly asks you to take on extra work, you could respond with something like, "I appreciate your confidence in my abilities, but I have my own responsibilities to focus on right now." This statement achieves several important objectives. First, it acknowledges their request without dismissing or belittling them, which helps maintain professionalism. Second, it emphasizes your own priorities, signaling that your time and energy are finite and must be respected. Finally, it delivers a clear refusal without unnecessary justification, avoiding an opening for further persuasion. This approach balances firmness with respect, demonstrating that while you value collaboration, you won't allow others to exploit your goodwill. Setting boundaries in this way not only neutralizes manipulation, but also reinforces your self-respect and the respect others have for you. It's also important to remain consistent once you've set your boundaries. Manipulators often test your resolve by trying different tactics to break down your defenses, such as appealing to your emotions, offering flattery, or even applying subtle guilt. Staying firm in your response shows that you are serious about maintaining your limits. Repeating your initial message without adding explanations can be especially effective. For example, if they persist, simply restate, "I really have to focus on my own responsibilities right now." This repetition reinforces your position without escalating the situation or inviting further debate. Additionally, your tone plays a critical role. A calm and confident tone conveys self-assurance, leaving little room for the manipulator to argue or press further. Avoid being overly apologetic or defensive, as this can give the impression that you're uncertain about your decision. Instead, focus on delivering your response in a way that's polite yet resolute, ensuring the other person understands that your boundaries are non-negotiable. Setting boundaries not only protects you from manipulation, but also strengthens your relationships over time. When others see that you respect your own time and priorities, they are more likely to respect them too. More importantly, it fosters a sense of self-worth and inner peace, key principles in Stoic philosophy. By staying true to yourself and your values, you can navigate situations with integrity and maintain control over your own choices. This is how you break free from manipulation and reclaim your autonomy, one respectful boundary at a time. Step 4. Focus on what you can control. The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing only on what is within our control, a core principle that offers clarity and peace when dealing with manipulation. You cannot control the words, actions, or motives of others. Manipulative people may try to exploit your emotions or desires, but their attempts are entirely beyond your power. What lies firmly in your hands, however, is your reaction. By redirecting your energy from futile attempts to change or confront the manipulator, you preserve your mental and emotional balance. This approach not only neutralizes the manipulative influence, but also strengthens your sense of self-mastery. Instead of obsessing over why someone is acting manipulatively or feeling frustrated by their behavior, the Stoic mindset encourages introspection. What can I do to maintain my peace? This shift in focus transforms manipulation into an opportunity for growth. Strengthening your own mindset means building resilience, cultivating emotional detachment, and reinforcing your core values. When you align your actions with these principles, manipulation loses its grip on you. Remember the words of Epictetus: "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." By anchoring yourself in Stoic wisdom, you empower yourself to rise above the chaos and maintain control over your inner world. This shift of focus also allows you to see manipulation for what it truly is, a reflection of the manipulator's own insecurities, desires, or need for control. When you recognize this, you stop taking their actions personally and start responding with logic rather than emotion. Manipulation loses its power when you refuse to give it the emotional reaction it seeks. Instead of being drawn into the drama, you become a calm observer, assessing the situation objectively. Strengthening your mindset involves consistent practice. Daily reflection, as encouraged by Marcus Aurelius, can help you identify moments where you may have succumbed to external pressures and how to improve moving forward. Grounding yourself in Stoic principles, such as understanding the dichotomy of control and practicing gratitude for your inner strength, reinforces your ability to remain steady under pressure. Moreover, focusing on your mindset helps you stay aligned with your true values, making it easier to set and maintain boundaries. When you know who you are and what you stand for, manipulation becomes easier to spot and resist. This alignment not only protects you, but also radiates confidence and authenticity, deterring future attempts to sway you. Ultimately, the Stoic approach teaches that you are the guardian of your own peace. No one can manipulate you unless you allow them to access your emotions or thoughts. By letting go of what you can't control and dedicating yourself to mastering your inner world, you create a life of integrity, strength, and freedom, an unshakable foundation that no manipulator can disrupt. An inspiring message. Overcoming manipulation isn't about building walls or adopting a cynical attitude toward others. Instead, it's about cultivating a strong, resilient sense of self, one that remains unwavering no matter what external pressures come your way. The Stoics teach us that true strength lies in developing an inner fortitude that allows us to stay grounded, even when faced with attempts to influence or control us. As Seneca wisely put it, you will be saved not by hope, but by reason. This means that relying on mere hope or blind faith won't shield us from manipulation. Rather, it's through the application of reason, guided by Stoic wisdom, that we can navigate life's challenges with clarity and confidence. By embracing Stoic principles, we learn to align our thoughts, actions, and emotions with what is within our control, which allows us to act with integrity and maintain our peace of mind. Instead of reacting to every emotional pull, we respond with deliberate thought and calmness, ensuring that our decisions are driven by wisdom and self-awareness, not by external manipulation. Conclusion. Now, I want to hear from you. Manipulation is something we all encounter at different points in life, and it can take many forms, from subtle persuasion to overt guilt trips. Have you ever experienced manipulation? And if so, how did you respond to it? Whether it was in your personal relationships, at work, or in society, your experience could offer valuable insights to others facing similar challenges. Share your story in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about how Stoicism can empower us to reclaim control over our minds, emotions, and lives. By learning and applying Stoic principles, we can transform these difficult situations into opportunities for growth and self-mastery. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Quotes and Relax 95 for more Stoic wisdom, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from it. Together, we can build a supportive community of individuals committed to resilience, self-awareness, and personal empowerment.